What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Black Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host, Reg. It's been a long, long time. Been busy, blessed with the burden of being busy. I don't have a guest. I figured I'd come in, check in with you guys. I haven't talked in a long while. Um, again, been blessed with the burden of being busy, but I'll never forget the platform and the audience that helped me get these blessings. So figured I'd do a 2020 mental health check-in. I did one previously, beginning of the year. That's when it was heavy police brutality, heavy coronavirus, heavy, like we just didn't know what 2020 was going to bring. And so, fortunately and unfortunately, it's been a lot of blessings, but a lot of bad things that have been happening as well. And I've been trying to keep my mind and, you know, things on the positive aspects of 2020 more than the negative. Had a lot of deaths that happened, of people that I know and loved ones that are hurt. And so, yeah, just wanted to check in with y'all and give you some updates about what's going on. There will be some not updates, episodes coming out. And crazy enough, I still have been recording, but I just haven't been putting any episodes out because I don't want to cheat you guys at any of the process of any episodes. I want to make sure I'm putting my full heart into it because I really do care about the mental health community. And so I want to make sure that if I'm putting something together, it's because I actually, am dedicated to it. And so, yeah, so what's been going on? I guess I'll leave off with the last update. It was around May when I last updated you guys about what was going on with me. Um, and so since May, wow, what's the first thing? Well, I know one of the biggest things that's been a part of my life is, and you can even see it with the hoodie on, Black Men Hill. My role has increased with the organization Black Men Hill. That you can get some of the merch from the stores. Um, and if those of you who don't know, Black Men Hill is a free therapy service for men of color. And we believe in just jump starting the therapeutic process for men. It's a nonprofit, so donations help out a lot. We're actually getting ready to do our virtual fundraiser. We usually, I think it was about two or three before, and it's usually in person, but we're doing it virtually this year. It's a lot of people coming out. It's a lot of special things. I can't say too much because it's still in the works, but yeah, we're doing our virtual fundraiser, manifestation, mental health, getting that healthy, starting in that manifestation of manifesting mental health, especially with amongst the Black men. So yeah, donate. We would love if you can come out, buy some tickets, the links, all of that will be available for everyone to, support. But my role has increased with Black Men Hill because again, I recently transitioned. I don't know where I heard it at or who said it, but I recently transitioned from mental health advocate to mental health activist, and that's just mainly because I wanted to create the change. Like it's cool to bring awareness. It's cool to let everybody know your story, but what are we gonna do about it now? And I know with some controversy with Jay-Z saying that about like Kaepernick and him doing the kneeling for the police brutality, and it was like, all right, what are the actionable items of change? And that's sort of the type of mindset that I was thinking of. Like, still, if you're bringing change, I feel like you automatically bring awareness. And so now I'm on this actual, like, activist run of being a mental health activist and just trying to find different ways to contribute change to the community. And, again, I'm all for my people. I'm all for the mental health community. I just want to be that bridge to bring those two closer together. So, yeah, been working with Black Men Hill. I do the virtual King's Corners every Sunday. And that's just a virtual safe space that's brought to you by Black Men Hill. That's a virtual safe space where we've had men from London, Canada, Mexico, all over the world come 7 p.m. on Sundays and just express their feelings. Just that virtual safe space, again, providing solutions. Like it's always men don't have safe spaces. Men don't, open up their emotions. Men don't do this. And every week, King's Corner is on Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm one of the guest facilitators, but we also bring guest speakers in to who are almost like experts in their whatever topic. So I know one of the few topics that hit home was the military and mental health. One of the we talked about police brutality. We talked about men's role and Black men's role in education. So We usually have a theme that goes on every week. And yeah, we're putting that safe space together so men can come in, and just share openly. It's only exclusive to men. And so ladies, if you have a brother that you think can benefit from it, please invite him, let him know, share him this video, or audio, however you listening, and let them know about King's Corner. Again, it's a virtual safe space for men every Sunday at 7 p.m. So yeah, I've increased my role with Black Men Hill. I think it's it's so many different aspects, and I'm actually going to get the Black Men Hill team on, but it's just been so many things. We planning the fundraiser. We just started the cohort 6. And if you're in Philadelphia, or not even Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York, Jersey, that's the 4 states we serve to offer the free therapy. You get the 8 free sessions. Please reach out. We are doing cohort 6 right now, and that'll be tremendous in the amount of jumpstarting the therapeutic process. We match you up with a provider of color. So yeah, just fill out the application. The link is on at Black Men Hill, or you can go to blackmenhill.org and get all of that information. So yeah, my role has increased. You see, as I talk, I start to come out about all the things that's happening, because there's a lot of things that's happening with Black Men Hill, and I just have increased my role as I guess it's the community outreach coordinator, but I think that's just the title, because we all do everything, whatever it takes to service the men. And so yeah, I've been doing a lot with Black Men Hill, so that's been taking a lot of my time. But it's a labor of love, because again, providing solutions. If there's one thing you don't hear from this episode about what Reg has been on from 2020 and moving forward, is how to really provide solution. Again, the awareness is cool. Awareness is key. So what's the next step after awareness? After you grab everybody's attention of like, all right, this is the problem. Like, everybody, we got to pay attention to the problem. What's the solutions now? And so again, I believe Black Men Hill is a solution. And I have another solution that I recently just did. Black Men Hill just been since about February, March. But I'll talk with that in a few minutes about that. So yeah, that's been since May. Also, I built my mental health team, and that's not like probably what the way you think of it. I built my mental health team where the last time I talked to you guys, I had just started taking medicine for the first time. And so started taking medicine. I got a psychiatrist. I got an individual therapist, and I also now more recently am starting couples counseling, because we're engaged to get married next year, and we wanted to do almost like getting that making sure we're ready for marriage. I don't want to know. Maybe somebody can help me out with that. What's the difference between premarital counseling and just couples counseling? If you know anything, please send me a message, a DM, or anything. And I've been trying to figure out the difference between the two. Mind you, I'm still learning. I'm an open sponge. But yeah, so I started taking the medicine this year. Not gonna lie to you, didn't like it. And I haven't given up on medicine, because I've learned and through the process of because I'm the big proponent against it. Like, it's a holistic way of doing things. It's things that you can do that are less that can provide the medicinal attributes, but it don't have to come through the form of modern medicine. And um, again, I guess I'm still breaking through that stigma of medicine, but I stopped because it was making me real sleepy. And again, I've been active and doing a bunch of things. I didn't necessarily have time or didn't want to be sleepy. And so I stopped taking it for a while. And then I finally told the psychiatrist, like, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, I haven't been taking them. She was like, well, why didn't you tell me? Like, we would have switched you to something different and try something different. And then those who don't know, they diagnosed me with major depression disorder. I think that's it. And an unspecified case of anxiety. And then they're monitoring me for PTSD because of my car accident, and then ADHD as well. But yeah, I stopped taking it. And we've been having sessions about it, but we've been trying. She put me on something different, and I'll get into the medicines once I learn more about them and I can articulate it and explain it away. But I just didn't want to take them things, man. And it's been a process trying to get me to, continue to use them. I will say this, it did help with the anxiety. It did help with easing my nerves, and especially with having my shirt pulled in so many different directions. It did really help with, calming everything. So I'll give it that credit. But I just didn't like almost being like zombified. Like I'm just walking around not really knowing what's going on. So yeah, I've been off and on with that. That's still a ongoing process. Still doing that. Individual therapy. It was a period where I had to transition from one therapist to another. So I'm still learning that. But one of the things that we've been talking about or starting to discuss is boundaries. I'm very bad with boundaries because I want to please. I'm a people pleaser, and so I've been learning, and that's personal and professional. Learning how to create boundaries within my relationships, personally and professionally. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like for me. How to organize that so that way I'm still being able to, I don't want to lose part of myself because I gotta make boundaries. So, and I know the importance of both. So that's one of the major things um, we've been talking about in therapy now is learning how to create boundaries. And one of the key gems that she gave to me was you can't um, expect boundaries from everyone else if you haven't gave boundaries to yourself. I don't even know what boundaries look like for me personally. Like as far as Reg, this is the boundary you set for you. And so I'm still learning and digesting that. And then finally, again, the last portion of the mental health team is the couples counseling. And again, we're doing next year in 2021 will be our 10-year anniversary of just being in a relationship. And we've been together from 20 and we'll be 30. So now it's like, all right, what's the next level? What's the next version? What's the next stage and phase of our lives? And it's like, all right, we might as well take that leap. We've been together, we've been rocking. It's not really, we got 2 children. Why not go into that next stage? And we've been talking, we've been doing a couple counseling just to, get to that next version. So that's still unraveling. We're still going through that. It's been a process. It's been a process. Still learning how to uh, it's different when you're in that space of you're being the one, it's just you 2 people. But now when you add another personality into it, it's like, oh, this is where what arguments looks like. This is where I could have went left. This is so. I'll update y'all as that go along, and as the episodes come out, you'll be able to know and hear more about what's happening. What else has been happening? Um, I'll get to the big news next, but one of the things that recently happened, I don't know if y'all were able to listen to the last few episodes of last year, or I wish I had them in front of me, but it was with my sister, my mom, my dad, and my fiance. And so I don't know if y'all had the chance to listen to my sister's episode, but I think we were able to talk about like our relationship with our father and our father's family and things like that. Um, and more recently, some shifts have been happening. I don't want to give too much about that because that's family business, but I thought I should bring that to the table because we had that conversation on the podcast. But look forward to a family episode coming very soon. Um, and I think you'll all enjoy that because it was, we always talk about breaking generational trauma. And I've been saying a lot lately, and I'll say it again, you can't break generational trauma without including the generation. So solution, again, that's all I keep talking about. What's the solutions now? And everyone's talking about, all right, how their parents treat them or the households they grew up in, and what they would have wished they would have had, and where somebody could have went wrong and things like that. And I think we finally hit a breakthrough in our generation. Um, and some good things will come from it. Some great things actually, because now we get to change the trajectory of trauma, and offer some new insight. Now, I'm not saying it's about to be the kumbaya rest of the way going forward. But I will say that I think we made a major step within the family history and trajectory of like what's going to happen moving forward. And I'm proud that one people always ask me like, what is some of your greatest accomplishments or what some things you're proud of? I think if that goes the way that I want it to go, that will be one of the proudest things that I left or was able to do. Especially again when in regards to your family, we can't talk about the awareness of like everything without solution. So that's one of the things I'm most proud of. Now to the biggest news of it all. The biggest news of it all was starting out this year. I think I've told my goals and the things that I plan, um, and what I want. Before I get into that, I think I would do a disservice without not talking about my car accident because it's coming up on the anniversary. I don't know if that's a tragiversary, but if those you don't know, I was in a major car accident. Still feeling the effects of it to this day. Somebody ran a red light, hit me from the driver's side to the passenger. It's a story. It's an episode. You guys can check it out. But I will say this: when the start of this year happened, um, I wanted to like start pushing myself with it. Like I didn't want to, almost be a shell of myself because I like to be active. I like to be, you know, as physically fit as I possibly can. I ain't gonna say I'm the most um aesthetically pleasing person out there doing the workouts, but I do like to be active because I know your body requires it. And I hit a setback this year because behind the scenes I was still exercising, working out, doing a lot of things to build my body up, because my leg is messed up, it has a metal rod in it. And for the first time, I went outside running, and it disappointed me because I I felt like I was running with a limp, and that is so disheartening, and it plays on your mind because it does plays on my mind still to this day as I talk to you. It plays on my mind because I'm like I'm never going to be the same person that I was, and in the sense of being able to push myself as much as I was. I think about the athletes who they realize that um, they're not that guy anymore. And or if they suffered a major injury and it's just you just can't come back physically, you can't come back mentally. Your mind is there. Mentally, you ready to go, but physically, your body is not capable. So I remember running and I felt it, and I'm like, wow, if this is the rest of your life, can you handle it? And I got kind of depressed. Got kind of depressed about it because I'm like, and it stopped me from working out. I threw my whole regimen away, everything that I was gonna do. I'm like, man, what is it worth it at this point? Is it worth it? Um, and I know it is, but just trying to accept that version of yourself, I think it's still a process. And struggling with that, that's a personal struggle that I'm still doing with, and um, I still don't know how to move forward with that. And so it stopped my workout routine. I may or may not pick it back up, but that's in the stage that I know a lot of people was always asking me about the accident and how I'm doing. That's where I'm at mentally with it. Like sometimes I don't even want to think about it because of how much depressing it can be, and I don't know. It's still like heart shattering, earth breaking, all of those things because I can't do physically what my mind can do mentally, and that's still I don't know that it is making me wonder or realize how much the two are connected because one can't go without the other if that makes sense. But now to the big news. Now to the big news. So um earlier this year I had my whole plan. You know, they say make vision boards, they make you make how do you say? You make plans for all right, this if 2020 is gonna be a good year, this is what it's gonna look like. And so on my vision board was not to be a part of Drexel University. It wasn't at all. Um, but again, trying to be in that solution oriented mind of how can I bring change? What can I do? What can I actively do? So I heard through one of my affiliations of NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, that Drexel has a program called Healing Hurt People. And what Healing Hurt People does, and let me see if I got to put my glasses on. Healing Hurt People is a program that they specify in young Black men, and their attempt is to get young Black men in trauma informed care because they already got the story, they already got the experience, and they already have the, how do you say, they have, all right, I think I can share this. Hold on one second. If you're not watching, I'll describe it and talk at the same time. But all right, so the Healing Hurt People is a training. There we go. Important details about the training. It's a free training, and they pay you to come, and they give you transportation to come and get training to become a community health worker and a certified peer specialist. Because of COVID, if you can see, the dates is all off. But we were able to go through this program and get training about becoming community health workers and things like that. So the requirements, if you're in the Philadelphia region, you gotta identify as male between 18 and 30, personal experience of violence to yourself or someone close to you, have a high school diploma, and willingness to share how violence and trauma have affected your mental health and physical health, and use that experience to help others heal. And so it was brought to you by Drexel University, the College of Medicine, the Durham's Life, and Mental Health Partnerships. And so that's the program that I was doing. And then the expectations is that we had to commit to 165 hours of training, 4 days weekly for 9 weeks. So y'all see where I was at since we last talked. We had to go to all the sessions, and um, it's designed to train men 18 to 30 who have experienced violent injury in their own lives. Graduates will be able to apply for employment as a community health worker and certified peer specialist, and we will gain skills in violence prevention / intervention, community education, health systems navigation, how to approach physical health and mental health emergencies, and addressing the impact of trauma, motivating people to reach their goals, and group facilitation skills to end de-escalation techniques. Again, what have I been sharing? Solutions. That's all I've been on, is solutions. So I was joining this program. I met a fine group of men, young Black men, and what we will be doing is I'm going to get them on the podcast. I'm going to get them on because, again, I'm all about mental health, and just hearing their stories is just so rewarding. And I'm trying to pull up now because we had to do our own like digital story, and of course you guys probably know, especially if you've been with me since the beginning, a lot of my story, but we put it into a digitally formed story, and I want to share with you all. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right, here goes mine so you can see it. Let's see. Crazy is the only word I heard associated with Howard Blood. Visions of killing, hurting, and causing pain on myself and others. Your family needs to heal from all of this generational trauma, and you can't break generational trauma without including the generation. So start with your generation. Start with you. Even though the commercials on TV of depression, anxiety, and trauma don't look like me, I still feel all of that pain. It wasn't until I became a father that I started to take my mental health serious. After multiple suicide attempts, I needed to be well for my son. So bring on the therapist, bring on the psychiatrist. I'll even go to couples counseling. I just want to heal. Now I get to help others by becoming a walking billboard for mental health. I recently switched from being a mental health advocate to being a mental health activist because I want to bring about change. I'm working in the classroom with the students and outside the classroom on a board. I'm working with established organizations and emerging organizations. I'm getting training and certifications that will put pain in perspective to bring about positive change. I say all of this not to brag, but to show my dedication to the mission. Whether it's through my mentally healing podcast, my paradigm shifting book, or my emotionally connecting speeches, I'm putting the motivation in the mental health so that it can be the focal point of today's conversation. What helped me get this far is the support of a woman who loves me unconditionally, the daily reminder of two children who need me to be better, and the drive to see change in not only my community, but around the world. If there is any message that I would want to teach to generations after me is we all help heal. Sharing your story is therapeutic and could be someone's medicine. Was good, right? But yeah, so I went through the program that started in July. Um, and I knew it was coming up, but I didn't know it was going to require as much of me as it did, which I don't mind because of the amount of knowledge that I was able to gain. Some of the things I've learned is trauma informed care, holistic health, and learning how to treat the whole person instead of just the symptoms or the things that you're seeing. And then one of the major questions that they teach you to ask is instead of trying to treat what they're bringing in. And again, you're not coming in as a doctor. They have the degrees or whatever, and I know that's all. I always preach that, but more so, how can you aid in the system and their well-being? And so, one of the most important questions you can ask is, "What happened?" Because you can't do nothing if you don't know the story behind it. So, what happened? How can I help? What can I do? But do again, what happens? Answer to a lot of those things. So, yeah, went through the program. We had a graduation ceremony. Again, it was a phenomenal. I wasn't going into that program expecting to receive the amount of experience that I've got during it and information, man. The information that as much as I thought I knew getting to this mental health journey, I've realized how much I don't know. Um, and so I got in the program, made a bunch of friends and relationships and things like that. But I will say this. That opportunity opened so many doors for me that I didn't even think was possible. Again, I talked about 2020 goals. This was not a 2020 goal. Now, what I will say that intrigued me was within the mental health community, a lot of people talk about the certified peer specialist position or training. And that is what intrigued me to go there. I know I wanted that certified peer specialist, but if you can see on the wall, like I got mental health first aid training for adults, youth, or whatever the case may be. Um, but I thought it would be one of those type of things. But once I got in, it was more intensive. Um, it took more energy than I thought. And again, I didn't want to cheat you all by coming here doing a half-ass podcast, still doing half-ass work during the program. Like I was committed. I was in there. I was answering questions. I was learning information. I was in there, especially you being a part of university. I haven't been a part of a university in years. Like it's almost 10 years since I've been in my relationship. I haven't been a part of a university. And so being in that environment, it helped me go back and start thinking about going to school because I always wanted to finish the degree because I've been in there. I started my degree in communication at Shippensburg University. And I always said one day I would go back when I have the money to go back to school and things like that. But, one day turns into 20 years at some time. It already turned into 10 years. um, and so we graduated the program. They're helping individuals find jobs. They're helping get more training, get more information. And so during the program, they made me aware of a position about a community engagement specialist at Drexel University. They have a healthcare center in partnership with the family. Oh man, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna mess it up. No, I gotta get my folder. Gotta get my folder. I'm not gonna mess this up. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's probably on the wall. Well, anyway, they're in conjunction with Drexel University. Oh, there we go. The Family Practice Counseling Network. So Drexel University has partnered with the Family Practice Counseling Network, and it's another federal organization that I'm not going to get that name. Like I'm not even going to attempt that name. It's another that developed the 11th Street, the Sandra and Stephen family 11th Street Family Health Center, and that they had a position for a community engagement specialist. And what what intrigued them about me was the work from the podcast, the work that I was doing within the community, the work that I was doing with Black Man Hill, and having the certified peer specialist training. I think that intrigued them the most. So they made it known to me that it was a position opening that I should apply. Again, 2020, I was not looking for a job, like, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just wasn't looking at that point. I was just trying to get the training and certifications. I was moving around, doing speaking engagements and things like that. I wasn't really looking for a position, but what intrigued me about the position, and again, it's the theme of this whole episode, was solutions. Actual, like, what we doing within the community, the change you can bring, like physically right there. I can go down and tell you the things that they have been doing, we have been doing, and I can touch it. And so I filled out the application, put in the cover letter. I had to remember how to do all of that because, again, I didn't have it in so long. Even working with Black Man Hill, it didn't feel like a job. And I think that's one of the things that kind of intrigued me about the position, was that it was work that not is not going to feel like work. It'll be a work, but it won't feel like work because it's something you love. It's a labor of love. So I filled out the position and I got the job. I got the job after rounds of interviewing different people, with different people, and within the organization, and I got the position. I would play some celebrations and stuff right there, but I don't know how to do it. I'm not that fancy yet. That's coming soon too, by the way. But then after the 2020 and 2021, there will be some updates, upgrades. But you'll see it. I won't even like just show it off. You'll just see it and it's like, oh, this is what he was talking about. So I took the position. I had my first week in it. I must say, again, you don't know how much you don't know until you're actually exposed to new information. And if y'all thought, and I thought, that I was helping people before, what I'm learning within this institution, and at this center, is like life changing in a sense, because it's information that I didn't even look at in a way before. What's one of the things that I've learned, and I wish I had the chart. I left the chart at the job, but one of the things I did learn was, oh, here we go. I say 11th Street is your healthcare home. We treat patients with respect, dignity, compassion to build strong and trusting relationship to keep you healthy. They provide individualized care for you and your family throughout the lifetime of the person. We treat you as a whole person by taking a team-based approach by providing comprehensive, coordinated care. And to me, that stood out as life changing almost. And they said family, the FNPs are family nurse practitioners that are licensed healthcare providers who lead their primary care department. They work closely with all on-site healthcare professionals to provide complete health care across the lifespan. We provide caring for the physical and mental health leads to the achievement of optimal health. Now, it's a lot of words. It's a mouthful. But I believe that was, again, on my path of trying to, help people, help and serve people. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been doing that position. I still work with the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I still work with Black Men Hill. I still doing these different things. But again, it's all at the benefit of making sure it's serving the community, serving the people, and treating these things that I'm bringing awareness to. You can't bring awareness without change. And so that's been my update of what's been going on with me. That's in a small session. Of course, it's been like other things between that time, but for the most part, I think I hit all the nails on the head that I wanted to hit with this episode. So yeah, moving forward, y'all see a few more episodes before the holiday season and during the holiday season, and then I'll probably take a little break. That's another thing I wanted to address too. And anytime y'all see me taking these breaks from the podcast, and I will never lose love or interest within the podcast. It's more so because um, it's other things going on, and I want to be mentally stable when doing the thing with the podcast. Well, the podcast is therapeutic for me. Again, sharing therapeutic stories, sharing my story is therapeutic for me. So I will never disengage with this audience. There will be people coming back on. I've done some interviews during this time, so you'll get to see some of those. Now if they sound a little dated, don't don't hold me to it. I was recording during the abusive relationship issues, domestic violence issues. I was recording during the police brutality issues. I was recording at the beginning of COVID, but I felt it unfair to be putting out episodes half-heartedly without really trying to engage with the audience and making sure I'm giving y'all my best foot forward. And so yeah, you'll see a few episodes coming out, and some changes coming in. I just like to say thank you again, thank you, because everything, even with this, if you listening, I'm pointing to this picture that I framed of the newspaper article that hosted the podcast. This podcast was something I did for free from my own therapy, in a sense of just releasing. People have journals, people have working out, going to the gym, music, art therapy, all these different ways to release the pent up aggression, pent up anxiety, pent up depression, whatever the case may be. And this has been one of the platforms that helped me release, but it also brought me into rooms that um I don't want to say I shouldn't have been in, but I probably wouldn't have been without the podcast. So thank you all for the support. Thank you all the people that download, listen, comment, share, tell somebody. I appreciate it wholeheartedly. I don't take it for granted. Because you could have been, I think it's either Lil Wayne or somebody said it, Prince, somebody said it. You could have been in anywhere in the world, or you listen to anything in the world, but you listen to this podcast and this episode. Thank you to the long-time fans, the long-time listeners. And yeah, some things are changing, some things are coming. I'm going to start giving more um, factual is the word I guess I'm looking for. Factual, and because the information is out there, but as again, I don't know what I don't know. So as I get exposed to more information, I feel it's my duty and obligation to bring it on the platforms that I serve in and give the information as well. Um, so look out for that. Look out for new episodes. Look out for me growing. Look out for us growing. Look out for the community changing. Look out for all of these different things going on, because um, remember, this podcast has never been about a replacement to therapy. It's an alternative place where people share therapeutic stories, and it will continue to be an alternative place where people share therapeutic stories. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see y'all soon.